Hi, everyone. Well, it is July 1st. Here we are entering the second half of our year. And I don't know about you if you've read the reading for today. We have this marvelous little interlude in the midst of all of the depressing stuff that we've been reading about. There's this moment here with King Hezekiah. And I want to talk about that just a little bit. But first, let me tell you about something that I'm not looking forward to. Pam informed me, and I guess I kind of knew it as well, looking at our deck and our fence. It's been a few years since we stained them, and so we are now going to be pressure washing the deck and fence and then staining it. You know, it's one of those jobs that comes around from time to time, and Pam is excited and loves to get done and going on tasks, and that's the same with this one. In fact, at this point anyway, I'm also looking forward to it because I have permission to get a new tool, and I'm going to get a pressure washer, and so that'll make it kind of fun. We both like to take care of things and be good stewards, and so yes, it's a great project, and right now I'm willing to get into it. But I know what happens, and maybe you have this same problem, or maybe you don't. But when we get into projects, and pretty soon the excitement wears off, and then it becomes the hard work of staying with it and ultimately persevering to the end. And I don't know about you, if you know anyone who has trouble following through on things, or maybe it's you yourself, but I must admit, sometimes I like to get started on things, but have a hard time finishing it and getting it done. And that's what made today's reading for me so exciting, is here is Hezekiah leading the charge with this stick-to-itiveness that is not evident very often in people. King Ahaz and others had closed down the temple and the doors, and as we have been reading, things clearly have gone downhill. And now Hezekiah comes along, and he reads of God's commands of the people, what is to be done with the temple. He draws the priests together, the Levites, and he says, this is what we're going to do. We're going to roll up our sleeves. We are going to restore things. We are going to do a house cleaning from start to finish. And it had to start with the temple, first of all, opening the doors, getting everything cleared out, re-cleansing and training the priests and their duties, reorganizing them. And then he had to call all the people together, and they had to go through a process of restoration and cleansing. And it took a long time and a lot of hard work. There was a lot of detail involved, and it was refreshing to see this process undertaken. And unlike some of the past kings, when we read about them and you said they did everything except they didn't take down the Asherah poles or the calf images, here we see Hezekiah had the people go out, they tore things down, they really went all out. And I really admire Hezekiah for that. That's not easy to follow through on all those details. It's easy to announce it and say, hey, we're going to clean things up. And people tend to get started and then can't follow through. And because of that, I got to thinking about a scripture verse, which you're very familiar with, and it's in Isaiah chapter 40. And there's even songs written about this verse, and it's actually the last verses of Isaiah chapter 40. And it says, he gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. And then here it comes at the end of chapter 40 of Isaiah. And by the way, this is speaking to the Judahites in exile. And he's trying to give them courage in the midst of their difficult time. But he says, they will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. And I saw one commentator say, that talks about how we move through life. Sometimes there's excitement. Sometimes, we're running along pretty well. Other times, it's a drudgery. We're walking and having to persevere. Hezekiah certainly was someone who had the initial excitement, the soaring, and then they were doing the work and running along. But then also comes those times when, you know what, this is getting old and there's still a lot of work to be done, and you feel like you're just walking and not getting anywhere, and you just want to get it done. And what I like here is God telling the people, I will be there. I'll be there when you're soaring and excited. I'll be there when you're in the midst of a challenge or midst of a job, and I'll be there helping you as you work through it. And I'll be there with you when you're walking, when you're struggling, when you feel like you're going to grow faint. I'll keep you going, and I'll persevere with you. And I think that's good for us to know each and every day in our lives, that God goes with us. And those tasks that we have to do, whether it's staining your deck or other tasks in life, whether relationally or in your workplace or in your family, God says, you know what? I'll help you soar. I'll help you get excited about the projects or the relationships or the service you're going to do. I'll also help you as you get into all the work that goes into it. And I'll help you persevere when things are difficult. So I think God says, I'll be with you and I'll help you so that you don't take on your walk with me and then fall short. And I think what's required of us? Well, we need to come to the temple. We need to, in our daily worship of God, offer ourselves as living sacrifices. We need to stay close to Him and His Word. And when we do that, and when we call on Him in prayer, then He will be there to get us excited, to help us move into a project, and help us persevere through it. I'm going to pray that He helps me get through the next few weeks, and that in the end the deck will look nice. I'm sure He will, because I'm sure He's going to be using Pam to help me get through it. But I also pray for all of us, that God helps us in our walk of faith to soar on wings like eagles, and to run with great energy, and to walk without ever feeling faint and ever giving up. I pray that for you this day, and God's blessings to you this week as we move into a 4th of July holiday week. Take care, and we'll talk to you again.